Welcome to Bottom Feeder Investing. Just as a quick reminder, everything I share in this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before making any investment decision. And remember, nobody can make you buy or sell anything except for you. Take full responsibility for your choices. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another one, Bottom Feeders. Hey, I apologize for being out for a week or two. I've just been really sick, I tell you what. But nevertheless, we're back at it again, and we're here to make some money. So let's get into it. Hey, overall, looking at the SPY, guys, like I've been calling out in Discord, we've had that course correction after the CPI came out, after the banks came out, and they killed it. Trump inauguration. I mean, everything is screaming to the upside, except for, let's talk about it real quick, Apple. Look, if you've got shares with Apple, you really need to have an exit strategy. Do not be just holding this stock for no reason. You should be aware of the news, right? That Apple is facing fierce competition in China with selling their iPhones. This is problematic because if you go and look at the business of Apple, they rely on selling their iPhones. They will have significant impacts on the bottom line of the company. Okay, so don't think that, oh, Apple is this giant company and that, if the iPhones don't sell as well. No, guys. This will have a huge impact. So I don't have any shares in Apple. I know that Nancy Pelosi's selling a lot of shares. I know that Warren Buffett's selling a lot of shares. You got a lot of big whales selling out heavy positions out of Apple because they see growth in other places, okay? So even if you like Apple, that's totally fine, guys. But put your money where your money's going to grow. Don't put it in something that you think is going to fail over time, okay? Or at least not grow. With that said, let's go ahead and talk about Nancy Pelosi real quick since, brought her up already and that she's kind of the talk of the town, right? Anytime Nancy Pelosi or Warren Buffett make a move, guys, it gets seen. And when it gets seen, a lot of people are watching. And when a lot of people are watching the same thing, there's usually a lot of price movement. So you can see what I was talking about here. She sold 31,000 shares of Apple. I don't know what that brings her total down to. I could look it up, but it doesn't really matter to me because I don't care about Apple. But down here at the bottom, guys, there's two stocks that are worth talking about. First one is Vistra. I'm not going to talk about Vistra right now because I still need to do my due diligence on Vistra. When it comes to Tempest, though, guys, I didn't know anything about this company when I posted a few days ago in Discord. But the more I learned about it, the more it's interesting to me, okay? So we live in the AI bubble. Everyone is trying to figure out how do we utilize AI in this space, in this sector, and create profits. Honestly, it makes a lot of sense. AI, healthcare, come on. I mean, that makes sense. Are there other companies here that are competing in the space? I don't even know, but it's something I got to do more of a due diligence on. One thing, though, is for sure is what kind of trader is Nancy Pelosi? Nancy Pelosi is a value trader. She holds things till expiration. And so, for example, for this NVIDIA share, let's see, it was somewhere here. So she has a bunch of shares. She buys a lot of leap options, meaning she buys call contracts and waits for a year. But I think it was, where did I see it here? NVIDIA. She exercised 500 calls options that she bought in 2023, and she took it to the expiration date of the 20th that just passed, right? And she exercised all of those shares, 50,000 shares. I mean, they're talking like a $7 million deal right there. Guys, anyways, TEM, it's worth doing your due diligence. It's that AI company that's trying to be integrated into healthcare. It's where it takes a lot of your inputs and it helps you make a diagnosis. So, hey, I don't know what else to really say. If she believes in it, there's a lot of people that are looking into it. Let's talk about TEM and look at the charts real quick. First of all, the first thing that we see is today was the first day that people could trade after the Nancy Pelosi news. And what did we see in the pre-market? Significant gap up. And then into the day at 9:30, once the rest of the traders came into the market, pump, bull flag pattern, and ended going back up again. I mean, this is showing potential continuation going in till tomorrow. And when you look at the volume, guys, here, let me put this on the single day chart. That's this big bar that you see up here at the top. Well, what do you see? Well, what you see is a lot of volume. 33.56 million shares traded today compared to the past. I mean, look at the size of this bar, guys. Absolutely monstrous. Okay. Hey, so let me give you a little tip for the people who think about want to get in on this trade. When it comes to momentum trading, the thing that momentum traders look for is they look for a news catalyst. Well, this news catalyst was Nancy Pelosi, okay? And what can we expect for the few days to come? It is very common for when you have a giant pump like this for momentum traders and also people who follow just political figures or people with a lot of money who make some big trades, they get in on those shares as well. So you have some political followers, plus you got momentum traders. Now you got some swing traders that are all in on this stock. What can we expect for tomorrow? Probably the same thing. When it makes a huge move like this, 35.53% today, it will be on the watch list for momentum traders tomorrow. Okay, so and probably even the day after that. That is what, it's not always like this in the market, but for the last 6 months to a year, it's been a very common thing for if it pumped one day, it probably pumps for a few days. So it's one to watch. It's one to watch. And the one thing I'd be looking for is I'd be looking at the volume for tomorrow compared to the volume over the relative days, ignoring the volume for what happened today because that's a total anomaly. But if we look into what's happening in the post market, and guys, I think it's just people learning more about the company. Look, it's already, so this is what it ended at. So today ended at $47.64, and the post market's at $53.35. Guys, it's still going, and I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow when we open up that it might drop a little bit and then pump up to the upside. Okay, so would not surprise me, but I'd be looking for volume because your momentum traders are not going to get in unless there's volume. All right, enough about TEM. One on the watch list for sure. Let's do more due diligence on that in the future. Let's talk about Serve real quick. No, not Serve. Let's talk about SoundHound. SoundHound. What an absolute pump of a day. Also, look at this, guys. Look at this. Let me show you this. We had, the start of January was really bad. A lot of people started selling a lot of the shares of SoundHound because they were up just a monster amount of money because SoundHound pumped so high in the period of a month. Well, I guess maybe a little bit longer than a month. But look at this. So here's your volume bar. Compare it to this volume bar right here. Remember what I said? When you have a significant move, it tends to, there will be a pump for a few days. I'm not saying that happens every time, guys, but I'm saying the potential is there. You've got to look for this. I'm telling you, TEM, it's one to watch over a few days. Additionally, SoundHound, it was another one of the big movers today. It has the potential to squeeze even higher tomorrow. Now, looking at this day chart, one thing that I find really interesting, actually, let's drop this down to the 15 minutes real quick. What's it doing in the post market? Same thing. So ended at 1652. Post market still going higher to 1720. That's interesting. Let's go back to the day chart just to see this candle specifically. What's really interesting about this candle, and I'll be, honestly, I'm surprised that it made this strong of a move today, especially with TEM having so much of the interest of your momentum traders today. But you see a long wick, long wick, long wick, long wick to the top side, showing that there's still a lot of selling pressure on the top side. That's what those wicks show. Now, are those the longest wicks ever? No, but nevertheless, they are still significant enough for me. But for today, there was no wick. What is that showing me? It's showing me that if you were short the stock, they're starting to get out. We also have this gap fill that might be happening right here where the post market price is at $17.25. This is an interesting setup, guys. And even if you get in a little late, let's say that it does move tomorrow between, I don't know, $17 and even if it took it all the way to $25 a high again, guys, you're still talking a 45% move, okay? So anyways, interesting stocks to watch for sure. I'm still incredibly bullish with SoundHound. I do not think $25 is going to be the highest this stock ever reaches, not even close to it. I think we're going to see new highs this year, but you know that if you follow me in Discord. Okay, last thing, let's talk about this giant scare of people getting out of SoundHound when it did drop from about $25 down here to the bottom. That was about a 50% drop. I'll admit that was pretty ugly. But what's the one thing you got to know about SoundHound is that it has a very high beta. Look at this, 3.7 beta. So what does beta mean? For quick little education for anyone who might not know, a beta is a measure of your relative volatility of a stock compared to the market, okay? It's not a dollar for dollar movement. Instead, the way that it works is, a beta of 3 would indicate that the stock is 3 times more volatile than the market. So if the market moves up or down by a certain percentage, this stock with a beta of 3 is expected to move 3 times the percentage in the same direction or average. Okay, so if the whole market's moving down, SoundHound should move 3 times more violently to the downside. If the whole stock market's moving up, which it is, you would expect SoundHound to be moving 3% stronger to the upside. Okay, so really interesting to watch SoundHound. This could be a money maker. And the other thing that I like about SoundHound in this setup is look at how many days it sat right here at about $14 when there was a lot of fear in the market. We have fear coming out of the market. We got more greed coming into the market. And guys, I really like the upside move here. I really do. I really do. Probably going to be putting some money into SoundHound for a scalp, me in particular. Now, let's talk about AMD real fast. Guys, AMD, you know how I feel about it. I am bullish with AMD. It is not a winner's take-all solution. Or situation, I should say. Nvidia does not. If Nvidia wins, it doesn't mean AMD loses. Okay, there's so much competition in this space, so much that can be done. Both companies could still win, but I got to be honest. Okay, this is still considered a falling knife. Why? Because we have lower highs and lower lows. AMD has a lot to overcome before it gets out of this downward trend cycle. Okay, it's got to break this. It eventually has to break this. But there's kind of two things that you could look at when AMD where you're really going to start seeing a lot of people coming in. The first one is going to be when the price starts getting over $130. Okay, you might start seeing more bullish sentiment come in. You also have earnings coming up, which I think they'll beat earnings. And you can follow me in Discord about why I believe that, but I really think that they're going to beat earnings, even though there have been some actual analysts that have come out and they've downgraded AMD, but they still say that it's a buy. I mean, you can check out the forecast here, right? But some people have downgraded from strong buy to buy. Some have gone to hold. Some have reduced their top end about how much they think AMD is going to make. But this is not a short-term trade, okay? But if the price target even reaches $172, that's still a significant increase to the upside. We're still talking a 40% gain, but it's going to be over a longer period of time. The other thing is, as soon as this trend gets broken, you might have a lot more people come in as well. But that is a significant movement, right? I'm talking potentially about $160. Maybe it'll change a little bit more over time, but guys, that is a 23-ish% move. I mean, so anyways. Still a falling knife, guys. I think AMD is being watched more and more, but until this downward channel trend gets broken, it's really keeping a lot of buyers away. So, not a quick move. Fundamentally, I believe in the company. I believe in the CEO. I believe in the team. I believe in the things that they provide. It's not something I can really time. I have money in AMD already, and I'm ready to put more in if it was to move farther down. But if you're waiting for it to show significant moves to the upside, I would say you've got to wait at least till $130, and then showing strong signs that it's coming out of this channel. But until then, it is still technically a fallen knife. So for what it's worth. Okay, enough about AMD, enough about SoundHound and TEM. Guys, these are the stocks to watch this week: TEM and SoundHound for sure. Of course, if there's any other news catalysts, we can watch those too. But the fact that both of these stocks pumped so hard today, there could be a continuation for the next few days. So let's watch them closely and potentially make some money, okay? Follow me in Discord if you want to follow the exact trades that I'm making. With that said, do your own diligence and let's make some money. Peace.